Welcome to Sure Shot Archery, and today I'll be doing a product review on the Hoyt GMX Gold Medalist Extreme. Alright, I have two Hoyt GMXs here with me. This one's my brother's in the blue, and this is my new one in the black. I want to point out right away is that in the past they used to make a 27-inch, and this is the elusive 27-inch riser. Really great for those tall people out there. And, it's nice to have, the flexibility of having a 25 or a 27-inch option. Of course, since they don't make them, you'd have to look around on the internet to see if you can pick one up. If you are somebody that's really tall, 6'3" plus range, likely, is the kind of market that would, need those bows. But this is a 25. It's great for, men, women. It's made out of machined aluminum. And overall, I'm really happy with it. There is a couple things I will point out that you need to keep your eye out on. But overall, it is a really fantastic riser. First thing I'm going to talk about is the pros of this riser. The one big bonus about the GMX is the use of ILF, which is International Limb Fit. It's the size of the dovetail, and it's standard across most limbs that manufacturers make across the world. So, for example, GMX with MK Archery limbs. This is a Korean company, this is an American company, but since they're using a standard limb fit, I can choose almost any kind of limb I want. So I'm going to quickly show you the difference between ILF, standard, and Formula. This is Formula. Usually it says Formula somewhere on it, exclusively, for the most part, by Hoyt. MK does make a variant. But anyway, they fit on Formula bows. As you can see, giant dovetail. Big. Hoyt also makes standard ILF limbs. These happen to be really old epics, but they still work fantastic. Difference. Fairly noticeable. This will not work with your GMX. This will also not work with most bows on the market. This works fantastic with this riser because it's made for it. This, I'm not even going to attempt because it's not going to happen. So, now you know the difference. Just to be safe, I know people that have picked up one bow and then picked up the new limbs for Hoyt or something and then ran themselves into a situation where they had two pieces of equipment that didn't work together. So let's move on to the next portion of this awesome riser. The next thing I'm going to talk about is limb bolts and the difference between the jiggly ones, like this one, and the non-jiggly ones on this one. They're very solid. Alright, so this is an older GMX riser, especially since it's the 27. It came with the solid limb bolts, which are fantastic. Not saying the brand new, self-adjusting ones are no good. I just happen to prefer a solid limb bolt. So, when I picked up this brand new riser, they did not include these solid limb bolts on the riser. It came with these puppies. So immediately I had to pick up some new solid limb bolts and switch them out. And I did this because when keeping an eye on the international field, every international shooter that shoots an ILF riser shoots solid limb bolts. There must be a reason. Also, all the top shooters in the world that shoot a GMX riser, at least the ones that I watch, which is all the top shooters, shoot solid limb bolts. So I had to put a little bit more money out to make the switch, but I find it to be well worth it. Plus, on the floating limb bolts, the new ones, the washer that's underneath that's supposed to keep your limb from really rubbing into it, it always cracks and stuff, so I find them to be a waste. and I just put in the solid ones. They work great. They're consistent. They're one piece. They're not moving anywhere. And honestly, I've compared the two, and your limb sits on them the same way, regardless of if it floats or not. And you're going to be really, safe-minded up here that I have one piece of metal and not two that are messing around with each other. So, just a point to consider if you're picking up a GMX riser. All right, so the next awesome thing about this riser is its grip. It's fantastic. On my other bows, like my HPX, I had to do some work on this thing. It really needed some help with the whole grip. But for this GMX, this is the stock grip straight out of the factory, and it's fantastic. And the same thing with my brother's, his 27-inch one. Boom, great grip. You don't need to do anything with it. So I don't know if it's just my hand or his hand also, but it fits really good in your hand. It feels great. So I have no intention of actually having to mess with this this grip, which makes me happy because I'm not playing with the bow too much then. Let's check out some things that you got to keep an eye out when you pick one of these up. So here is the one or possibly two problems with this riser, and they're kind of all one and the same. And it's just something that you should be paying attention to as an archer anyway, and that's keeping your screws tight and watching what happens when you tighten things. So the limb bolt here is held by a set screw in the back. Now, if you don't tighten this set screw till it clicks like that when you untighten it, then there's a possibility through shooting that this is going to work its way all the way out until it falls out while you're shooting. Now, your limb adjustment, for the poundage and the tiller aren't going to change, but you're going to be missing that set screw. So then later on when you de-string your bow or something, if you happen to hit into this limb bolt, then it's possible to change the weight on your bow and possibly the tiller, which happened to this bottom one all the way down here. Now, we picked this riser up years ago now, so we were much younger and a lot less experienced with archery. So we're actually missing one. I'll probably have to call Hoyt someday about that. Maybe see if I can actually get another one. Who knows? But this riser works perfectly fine without it. It's just that it's a lot more convenient when you have a set screw and you can tighten things up. Now, the second part, which is kind of in conjunction with this, when you tighten the set screw on this bow, it has a habit of moving the tiller bolt as well. Hopefully you can see that rotate some as I tighten the set screw. If not, it does move slightly, and it's just something you got to keep an eye on, because if you're looking to set your tiller distance to pretty exact amount, then this may adjust it some, and it's just something you got to keep an eye on when you really tighten everything down. Of course, a good way around it is to get two sets of Allen keys, put one in the back to tighten the set screw, and one in the front to tighten the limb bolt. Hold the limb bolt one where you want it, and then tighten with the set screw, and you're good to go. This is something really, really minor, and keeping the screws and everything tight on your riser and the rest of your bow is something that you should, keep regular maintenance on, just to make sure that everything functions properly. Other than that, this thing's fantastic. It's beautiful, and best of all, at least since making this video, the two best shooters in the world still shoot this riser, and there's many, hundreds of other shooters that still continually use this riser with great success. So if you're picking one up as a new archer, you can't really go wrong, because it's proven to have great performance, and you get a variety of limb options because of that international limb fit. You can choose from Hoyt, Win-Win, PSE, MK. There's a whole slew of great manufacturers, and it really opens up the variety and the quality and different types of limbs you can pick up for your bow. So I hope this video helped you out. Hopefully, if you're looking to pick one of these up, that it helps you decide. Or if you just happen to see one on sale and for a really good price, of course, make sure it's in good shape. But maybe you could snag yourself a really nice, really well-made riser. Thank you for watching. If you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe. And as always, happy shooting.